For airline passengers, this was the summer of sitting on the tarmac in Atlanta, where the average flight delay was 43 minutes. In Philadelphia, nearly 50 minutes. And if you got stuck in Newark, your average sitting time was an hour. Newark had the worst summer. 12,885 flights delayed in just 2 months. Flight delays in the U.S. are the worst they've been since they started keeping records. The FAA says weather played a big part, but mainly because the skies in airports are so congested, any storm can spread a hurricane of flight delays across the country. So what is the Senate doing in its Senate transportation bill to fix the major airports? Keeping them honest, we found the senators from Massachusetts fixing the airports important to them. Senators Ted Kennedy and John Kerry asked for and got $8 million earmarks to replace control towers at their airports. The tiny Nantucket Airport near the summer home of, remember this moment, windsurfing John Kerry, and the small Barnstable Airport near the famous Kennedy compound in Hyannis.
Can you make the case for some taxpayer sitting down in Philadelphia or out in California that this airport here in basically Hyannis Port in Kennedy's backyard needs federal money?
Yeah, and it does need federal money.
Quincy Doc Mosby is the airport manager at Barnstable. He says the control tower here is old, has become a safety concern, and needs federal help. So does Nantucket's, he says.
We're a part of the national transportation system, and non-hub airports do play a very vital role in the air travel across the United States.
We asked the FAA if the tiny airports of Barnstable and Nantucket were on any priority list. We were told no, because the two largely vacation destinations are simply not vital to air traffic across the United States.
People think just because, when you mention Nantucket, you mention Hyannis, and you mention going across to Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard, oh, it's just, you're creating an airport for rich people. But that's not the case.
But we were also told earmarks for Barnstable and Nantucket actually cut down on priority needs elsewhere. So keeping them honest, we went into the Senate office buildings on a hunt for answers. Why is so much money being wasted on low or no priority airports? The chair of the Senate's Transportation Appropriations Subcommittee, Senator Patty Murray, said she'd tell us, then abruptly canceled our interview. Senator Kerry's press secretary told us we just couldn't make this work with scheduling this week. That was actually weeks ago. We asked again, and again Senator Kerry turned us down. Our last hope, Senator Ted Kennedy, was totally booked, according to his staff, which is why we were caught off guard when the senator and his two dogs suddenly rounded a corner in the Russell Senate building. Senate rules say cameras can't chase senators inside these hallways, but reporters can. And I asked why he was wasting federal money on low-priority airports like Barnstable and Nantucket.
There are security issues in terms of both of those airports, and very inclement kind of weather. They were on the list, and I think they're well deserved.
What list are they on?
On the comprehensive list, in terms of improvements.
They're certainly not on any kind of priority list.
I'm just telling you, we're dealing with safety, air transportation safety, and they said it seemed to be justified. They made a very good case on it. I'm glad they got it.
The airport's made a case on it, sir?
3 weeks after this hallway conversation, the senator's office decided to give us a statement, repeating the senator's concern that both towers are more than 40 years old, outdated, and need to be replaced. The statement made no mention of the list the senator insists the two airports are on. I've got no idea what list the senator is talking about. But remember, the list they make up in this building at the Federal Aviation Administration show no priorities for the Barnstable, Nantucket, or Acatan airports. They're just not on the list. Acatan Airport? Oh, I forgot to tell you about Alaska's Acatan Airport out on the Aleutian Islands. You see, even though the Democrats are in charge, airport pork in the Senate flies on both sides of the aisle. We keep Republicans honest, too, when we come back.